world. Let me know when you join. Let me know when you join, online world. Awesome. My hair has been all up in my face.
No.
I know. I don't want to take my coat off yet. But it feels good in here. I know. I pulled it a little bit.
Oh, no, I
Here you
had
go.
2 already. Thank you.
Here you go.
Hey, Jane. They're bragging on you.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry. I throw names sometimes.
I like it. I like it. So I just want to anchor us in. Would you be willing to slide that door shut for me? And I'm guessing those are going to stay open because that's just what it looks like it's going to be. Okay. So it's body, mind, spirit.
We don't have to have them open.
That's fine. I'll just request that everybody speaks loud enough for me to hear.
Anybody started?
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, good morning. Mom's joining from Indiana. What's the weather like up there? I'm curious. So this is body, mind, spirit. So we have all 3 parts. Yay! Celebrate that. Like we all have our mind, however clear it may or may not be. You know, we have our bodies, as strong or as not strong as they may be. We all have a spirit, as strong or as aware of the strength as it may be. So it's cold there. Yeah, I bet. I'm not taking my coat off yet. All right. So I just want to anchor us in and get present. Oh, if we can make sure our cell phones are off, that would be super fantastic. That way we can just be here. Ding. Was that yours? The ding? No. The sounds of the
My sound's
ding.
off.
Yeah, I know. Same here. I'm like, get the sound off. All right. Take a deep breath. And just let it go. Because you're here now and everything's fine in this right now moment. Nothing could be better. Nothing could be worse. It's completely perfect right here, right now. Take another breath in. And just let it go. Do that another time. Big breath in. Big breath out. And start to become aware of your body and the sounds around you. And the weight of your body on this chair, the weight of the chair on this floor, the weight of this floor on this earth. And maybe the weight of this now moment, the weight of life, the weight of the stuff and the things. And at the same time, as you feel your breath flowing in, big and full, you start to feel the lightness of your breath, the lightness of your heart, the lightness of this now moment, the lightness of this room, the air around it, the lightness of your heart. And how in this right now moment, you can feel both heavy and light together. Take another breath in. And let it go. A little clearing of the air, clearing of the space. So I am curious. I'd like to do a little check-in. And a 1-word check-in. So I'm going to go around a couple times. So 1 word, how's your body feeling? You want to start and we'll just go around?
Breakdown.
Breakdown? 1 word, how's your body feeling?
Good.
Good? How's your body? Good? How's your body feeling right now?
Not good. My meds make me shake.
So feeling shaky?
Yeah.
Okay. How's your body feeling right now? Feeling good? So I'm curious, those that said good, can you give me another word other than good? Because your good might be different. Like I know what shaky is. I know what breakdown is. What else is good? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel balanced? Does it feel like?
Nothing hurts. None of my muscles hurt. I feel like I could take a walk and I'm in good shape. My hands do shake because of meds. I forgot about that. But you took the body, so I would do your head to toe thing.
So feeling easeful?
Yeah.
Okay.
My body feels good.
Awesome.
You know, and a little bit of pain in the back, but otherwise it's really good.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Will you expand on your good? What does that mean to you?
Exercise, like you've been caught up in this weather for 5 days or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to exercise.
So it feels a little bit more alive.
What little I got.
Right.
Yeah,
So maybe a little bit more alive
yes.
feeling. Cool. Thanks for expanding. What does good mean to you?
That's what I was gonna say, being alive.
Being alive. It's a good feeling. Like, yeah, we get to be alive right now, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mama Jane's body's feeling rested. Awesome. My body's feeling easeful and imbalanced right now. So it's like it feels imbalanced. It feels like off. It's okay though. Okay, so one word. How's your mind feeling?
Racing.
Racing. How's your mind?
A little painful.
Painful. How's your mind?
Exercisable.
Exercisable. How's your mind?
Not as focused.
Unfocused. How's your mind?
Calm.
Calm. My mind feels very still. Like opposite of racing. And Mama Jane's mind is feeling alert. Awesome. Okay, and then spirit. How's your spirit feeling? One word. Your energy, your spirit, your joy, whatever that word spirit means to you.
Hopeful.
Hopeful.
With me.
Present. I love that. With you. I love that.
Spirit. Calm, I guess.
Calm. How's your spirit feeling?
A little bit in the middle.
In the middle? Right on.
Right.
Good morning. Welcome. Hi. And then when you are complete with that, good morning. Here's another one if you want to sign this one, and then you can make yourself comfortable. And an invitation when you sit down is just take a couple breaths and just get present. How's your spirit feeling?
Use hopeful,
Hopeful.
looking to the future.
Right on. My spirit feels expanded today. Like I feel like I'm taking like my higher self is taking up more space than my physical today. How's your body feeling today?
Average.
Average?
Yeah.
How's your mind feeling?
About the same.
The same as average? What does average feel like to you?
Well, peaceful, no worries, no.
Nice. Some peaceful goodness. Awesome. And how are you feeling?
Straight.
Yeah. I'm happy y'all are here. Yeah. And we got the calm spirit online. Awesome. Yeah, make yourself comfy. So yeah, I was sharing a minute ago that like this time of year always feels like this weird dead zone to me. It's like I can't plan a lot, but I feel like I want and need to plan a lot. Everybody's getting all amped up for the new year. But I'm also like, it's not really the new year. New year doesn't really happen until spring. It's just based on the Gregorian calendar. Like winter is our time of stillness. It's not a time to change things and make resolutions and do all these like high energy things. It's not the time of year for that. Like nature doesn't do that. And it's like this time where it's like almost like the holiday hangovers, you know, because there's so much energy that's built up around the holidays. Oh, I'm going to see these people and I'm going to do this stuff, or I'm not going to do this stuff and I'm stressed out. Like it's all this amping energy. And then it's like, okay, well, we had the holiday. All right. Well, now what? So for me, this is like the strangest time of year ever. It's like this weird, it's like, it feels like a dead zone. Does anybody else feel that, or is it just me? I'm curious.
I don't know how the holidays get me like that.
Yeah. Get you like what?
I don't get stressed out by the holidays. I don't go overboard. Just enjoy being with friends and eating and enjoying company. People get too wrapped up in the material things. I just don't think that should be the focus.
I feel that. I feel the energy of the people around me a lot, and like the energy of like the collective in the city. So it's like driving around before like the Christmas or whatever, I would be driving and people would just be like cutting people off and being erratic. And I'm like,
Stressed out.
y'all are freaking out right now. Like, whatever it is you need, it'll be fine, you know? And so now it's like, I guess people are out of town or they're not working. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know. So it just feels like the energy is just like, what's happening? Nothing. Okay. Is that okay? Are we allowed to do nothing right now? Is it okay to do nothing right now? So anyway, so yeah, that's what has been coming up for me. What's been coming up for y'all lately? We can talk about whatever we want, as long as it has to do with the body, the mind, or the spirit.
You know, I kind of agree with you about the dead zone, right? It's like everything this year doesn't happen, and now we coming to the end of the year, so all that is not dead because because all that doesn't happen now in the new year, something new would be present. You know, I guess it's like the end. You know, end of the year, it's the end. All that tragedy that happened in 2022, all that happiness that happened in 2022, yeah, we done found out all we can do in 22. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So, so here we are, we're coming up on the new year, right? And it's also winter. So like I said, it's not typically a time in any natural system to start new things. Like if you look at the trees, no trees are out there like, look at me bloom, look at my little baby leaves. They're like, no, we are chilling out. We are going to just hibernate. We're going to conserve our energy. We're going to reflect on the life that I've lived. So like we're still in that season, regardless of the end of this calendar year, that we still have like January and February and half of March to still be in that winter energy, that chill, chill, it is cold, but that like chill, slower, reflective, contemplative energy. And so then it makes me think about if everybody's celebrating the end of the year and what to look forward to. What if we look forward to rest? Like, okay, it's January 1st. Yeah, get to rest some more. Yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing, I think. Like, I need to keep that my focus is rest. Good morning. Yeah.
I have feelings, and I've had them over the past few days, and I've had some sad feelings, some grieving feelings, but I work with my tools, and so I've also gotten into some acceptance feelings, and I'm glad that as the days pass, that it's further and further away from Christmas. That's how I feel, and so I got out of the house today. I hadn't been out of the house for 3 days because of the weather and because I felt sorry for myself. And I feel good today. I feel good to be sitting here. I feel good with my family here. And I'm thankful for that. And I vacillate between, oh, poor me, and Robin, you've got everything you want. Everything's good.
That back and forth dance. Not a fun one. Like we have this dance of life that we go through. Like we're not supposed to feel one thing all the time. Like we're not supposed to feel happy all the time. We're not. We're also not supposed to feel sad all the time. But we're also supposed to feel all of it. Like we're made to feel feelings, right? They're called feelings. They're not called ignore me's. They're not called shove me down. They're called feelings for a reason. So it's like navigating how can we feel our feelings and honor them and not let them become what I identify myself as, right? Like how do we do that dance?
My mind is always racing, right? It seems like it stays young, but my body is like breaking down. So my mind like gives my body orders to do. So I used to be a skater kid. I used to be real athletic. I can't. My body tell me, nah, we ain't gonna do that. right?
Get off the skateboard, man.
Yeah. I was with my skater kids, and I can't do skateboarding no more. But I could talk about skateboarding, but I could not perform it. And that is kind of emotionally challenged when your mind feels like it's young, but your body refused and requests that your mind does.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna do that right now. Hell no.
Yep. The bodies, is anyone else's body feeling like not as resilient, not as strong, not as agile, just not as you would like it to be? Yeah. I'm learning that there's a lot of acceptance that I get to apply with that for myself. Like I was doing my yoga practice this morning, and I was doing something, and I was like, ow, and then my hip pops really loud, and I was like, well, that feels better. What was that? And then I did something else, and I was like, oh God, that's tight. Oh, I can't do that right now, And so for me, it's really finding this grace of allowing my body to be where it is and not move it because it's not where I think it should be. Right? Like, cause it used to be like, I used to run a lot. And so I'd be like, I'm going to go run my 10 miles today before work. Why would anyone do that? First of all, like, that's just dumb. Anyway, I did it. And I was running away from problems at that time. I was running as fast as I could. But anyway, and so then I had an injury, and then I couldn't run as much. And so then when I would start running again, I'd be like, I can only run 3 miles. That's not good enough. So then I wouldn't run.
What is it now?
Huh?
What is it now? Do you run?
No.
Oh.
Nope, not yet. No, I had a really bad I had a lower back injury in 2020 it was just really hard for me to walk. So yeah. So I'm moving now. And but like oftentimes it's like with my body, if I can't do something the way I think I should do it, then I won't even try. Do y'all do that?
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Well,
With pain?
Yeah, no, painting. I broke my hand 9 times in 1 year, right? And I can do some artwork, but I'm telling myself that is not what you can do better, I'm my birth school. I remember I was great about the artwork I can do now. I'm not satisfied with it. I'm trying to develop a technique with this stupid hand. I call it stupid. You remember, we try to do everything with the other hand. A long time ago, I knew it. I did it. Remember? I can tell you what you was wearing that day.
I know.
But this is the thing, right? When you have to figure out how to use your talents with this broken down body, like the use the other hand thing, Look, I guess if I practice, but I get defeatist and I say, nah, I'm not gonna do it at all. I'm not gonna do it, It's not what I used to do. I'm not at that quality though.
I'm glad you shared that. I want to get back to that. What were you saying?
The weather. That's what's stopped me, probably stopped a lot of people not to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets into the teens or less than the teens, who in their right mind is going to be outside exercising?
Right? Yeah. We let
things
things
kind of tempers your happiness because you're used to at least getting out and walking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like we'll let discomfort stop us totally. Right? Oh, it's too cold. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to. My hand hurts. I can't hold the thing. I don't like it. What I'm creating, I don't like it. It's not, I'm uncomfortable with the quality of what I'm creating. So I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to go outside. I'm not going to work out. Right. I'm just not, and what a beautiful way to just give up.
Close the book.
Right. Like it's such a good way to give up.
Yeah.
Like, and what I'm noticing is there's this really big difference between surrender and giving up. Right. Giving up is this like, it comes from a victim-y kind of place.
Oh,
Right? It comes from this place of like, oh, whatever, I give up. I guess I just can't. It's too cold. Oh, my body hurts. I'm not going to do it at all. I'm just going to not.
What's the
Right?
difference between surrendering to the cold?
Surrender what?
You said giving up versus surrender.
The attitude. Right? So there's this attitude, right, of like, which is intention, right? It's where it's coming from. So it's like, oh, whatever. I just give up. I'll let you do whatever. I'm not going to do anything. I'll give up. And there's this other space of like, you know what? I surrender. I'm not going to go outside and I'm going to accept that. Right. But the difference is the next step that happens because the I give up space, nothing really healthy usually happens from that. But in the space of surrender, like I'm going to accept that the weather is too cold. But what am I going to do instead? I'm going to paint instead. I'm going to dance instead.
Go to bed instead.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to write. I'm going to read.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write some letters. You know, so surrendering is accepting what is and choosing something else.
So like my knee, when my knee was operated on, I surrendered to that because I walked the moment I could. And then kept trying. Now you know I walk everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah. There's a big difference between giving up and surrender.
How about accepting?
I think
Accepting, not surrender.
you have to have acceptance for that.
Yeah.
Right? Because surrender is like it's a choice. It's almost like has anyone ever been in an unhealthy relationship?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one. Okay, right. And there would be so many times that I would just be like, I was giving up. I was giving up on myself, on my health, on my happiness. I was giving up on everything. And I would just be like, whatever, you can do whatever. You know, you can go ahead and hit me. I don't even care anymore. Right? That's not surrender. That's giving up. Right? When I surrender, what was the surrender action was me realizing that I was in an unhealthy relationship and that I was unhealthy because I was in it. So that I'm the common denominator. And then the surrender was the recognition of that. And then surrendering into the death of that relationship by leaving it. So the action that took place was different. One, I was getting abused because I just gave up. The other was surrendering and I left. So it's just a different space where I kind of am in the now from giving up, like, oh, I guess I can't do anything. And being like, wow, I have no power, no control over this. Well, what else can I do? Right? Ah! So yeah. So it comes up with that. The surrender and just giving up.
I had lots coming up. I had relationship issues that I stayed in that I should have gotten out because they were sick. It made me sick. Right now, Jane, I'm really surrendering because my knee would be the only thing that's my problem. I did isolate for 3 days. That's not a good thing. I got out of it. And I'm pursuing again. And it's hard. It's very hard to get up and do what you're supposed to do and say, it's a beautiful day, let's go out and experience it. It is for me anyway. But I do that. I force myself to do it. I don't think I'm forcing myself to do it, but I just do it. And I guess that's more of a surrender to what is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, it's sometimes we wake up and it might be a beautiful day and we might feel like turds. Like we might feel bad. We might not feel inspired to get out of bed. We might be angry. We might be angry that we woke up again and again. Oh God, I woke up again. So then it's like, well, then I can surrender to the fact that, well, I woke up. What do I get to do with this now? You know, I can be grumbly if I want. I can. That's okay. I can be sad. I can be happy. I can be in curiosity. I can try new things. You know, to me, it's just, we're here living this life once. You know, like we are here in this body one time. And so I'm like, well, what can I do today? Well, I can surrender into the fact that, well, this is another day that I get to live and it's another day closer to death. Wow, that's a dualistic dance, right? Celebrating the life that I get to live today and also remembering that it could potentially be my last one. So am I going to be sad about it? Am I going to sit in my bed and be like, this could be the last day of my life? I could, and that'd be fine. Or I could be like, man, this is the last day of my life. I want to look at people in the eyes and tell them that they meant something to me. So, all right, maybe that's what I want to do today. And it might then change my actions for the whole day. Is that, okay, I get to live this day and I could die today. This could be it. What am I going to do with that? And we can do anything with it. And we can't mess it up. You know? But I think giving up is the lamest option. And I can say that because I've done a really good job in my life at giving up so many times. I was so good at it.
So in our example, what we're talking about, the days there and you face it, I know, that's comes to my mind just as I asked. Giving up would be staying in bed, not calling people, thinking that this whole life and turning on the tube and constantly making that your whole world. That's
Yeah.
giving up.
Yeah.
That's giving up. I give up sometimes. Damn it. Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
a giver up. I'll think about that.
Yeah. Like we didn't come to be life, right? Because we're life. Life is literally moving through us. We are life. We didn't come to life to give up.
Mhm.
Life is not designed to die and stay dead. Life wants to live. And it accepts the cycle of life that, that's going to go through its own death. The leaves off the trees or, the caterpillar that dies and turns into the butterfly, But yeah, that the giving up and like throwing the pity party, the woe is me. Bleh. Nobody likes me. I don't like nobody. Well, the woe is me. The woe is me's are so heavy,
Have you ever seen a hummingbird feel sorry for itself?
right?
Whenever have you
It'd be a grumbly
seen
bird.
A sparrow feel sorry for itself?
No.
Never.
No. And they literally could run into a window and die that day. But they're still gonna fly. They're still gonna try until the very last chirp.
I think birds are very spiritual. There's something about birds. When I see a robin bird when I'm walking, I really feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting touched.
Well, and then imagine that you are that robin bird that others get to see. You're not trying to be seen. You're just being yourself. And then others get to see you, each of us, as like these little spiritual beings, like, oh my God, I got to see you today. Like, whoa, awesome, cool, Like I got to have that experience of you walking in and sitting in front of me. Yeah, like could you imagine if we actually started seeing ourselves like that? Like when we got up, we would want to see ourselves in the morning, right? We would be like, ooh, I get a day. I want to see what I look like today. Okay, I look the same as I did yesterday. Or wow, it's like I'm 10 years older. Oh yeah, I did a good job at aging 10 years overnight. Or I look younger today. Like whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like if we could see ourselves in that way of just like, whoa, this could be the last day I see myself. Whoa.
Yeah.
Am I going to?
Wonderful thing. That's really everything you're saying. I'm going. Oh, that's so hard to do. Oh, that's so hard to do because I've been doing the opposite. And as an aging woman, that's an easy thing to do. You're telling me what I need to change. Positive. Look in the mirror and say positive. Did it positive. Okay.
Well, I mean, think about this, right? Like we live in an experience that we get to see ourselves. We get to get up in the day and see ourselves. We get to look in a mirror or we get to see ourselves in the reflection of other people here on this earth plane. Like we get to, right? And we get to have an awareness of that. The birds don't. The birds are never going to see themselves, right? The rose bush is never going to have a mirror held up to it and it go, oh my God, I'm so pretty. The rose bush is never going to know how good it smells, right? And yet we are all of that and we still choose to ignore that
Mm-hmm.
That to me is giving up on the awareness and the gift of life. Like, what if every day is just a gift, period? For no reason, it's just a gift. We got to be here, we got to breathe. It's going to be shitty, it's going to be hard. Probably going to fuck up a couple times. Okay. And it's also sunny. I got to breathe. I smiled at someone. I held the door for someone. Someone held the door open for me. I got a meal today. Fuck yeah, I'm winning. You know? And be able to be in all of it, be like, I get to have all of this. I get to have all of that. I get to have all of it.
James,
Rodney?
we've been, you know, visiting each other now 4 or 5 years now.
Mhm.
You know what? The thing that I love about you, young, is you are creative motivation.
Well, thanks. I like that you called me young.
Yeah, you one of my favorite youngins. I got a lot of youngins, but you one of my favorites.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, creative motivation, you know. And a lot of people would look at it, in all kinds of facets. You know, it even changed the interpretation to what that creative motivation. They were like manipulation, and that's negative to some folks. But manipulation is creative motivation, same thing, right? And I treated that way. Yeah, I don't treat you as manipulation. I treat
Thank
you
you.
as creative motivation.
Thank you. Thank you for that reflection. And how often do we will manipulate ourselves? We'll manipulate our entire human experience with our mind. Our mind will tell us things like, you don't deserve this, you're not good enough, you're too much of this, and you're not enough of that, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, right? Like, our mind will manipulate our spirit from being like here and like, oh my God, I have a spirit and I get to live in and as a body, you know? Like, the mind will try to manipulate our human experience. And the funny thing about all of that is that it's our own mind. Like, it's our own mind. It's my mind. It's my mind. And I can blame my mom for my mind. I can blame my father for my mind. I can blame the system because the system's just, it's totally fucked. I get that. But my thoughts about all of that are still mine. My thoughts about my body are mine. So can I be in pain and let my mind accept it? And then together we choose to still show up. So that's accepting it, that's surrendering into it, and it's still taking action to show up. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The showing up isn't the easy part, especially if it's not the same as what we've been doing. You know, if we've been in a pattern, you know, if every day you get home from work and the first thing you do is you lay on the sofa and turn on your TV. Very first thing. Your body is going to condition itself to think that every time I get home, this is what we do. We turn off, you know, system shut down, right? And if you get home from work every day and the first thing you do is you take off your shoes and you put on a pair of running shoes and a jacket that's got reflectors on it and you go for a run around the block. Next thing you know, we become in this habit of, I get home and my body's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna run for me, right? Yeah, right? So it's our mind making the decision of like, I'm gonna do this thing. And doing the thing different is not the easiest because our body's still in the pattern, right? So if the pattern of the body is combined with the mind of like, oh God, I hate this cold weather and I don't wanna leave. And you open the door and you're gonna get that blast and everything in you is gonna be like, no, this sucks. This will take me back inside, right? So then it's like, well, then how can I warm up? You know, I'm going to dance in the house. I'm going to exercise in the house. You know, I'm not going to go outside and run and get my breath going because the cold air is going to hurt, but I'll sit inside and do breath work. And I feel personally that like this time of year that we can like reflect on all of this stuff. Like we have time. The days are pretty short. The nights are pretty long. It's cold and dark at 5 o'clock or whatever. I don't even know. I feel like
5:30.
is it 5:30? Yeah, because I'm like I haven't eaten dinner and I want to go to bed. Oh God, what do I do? I'm a sunshine timeline human. But it's like a really good time to be reflective and not judge our patterns, right? But just to look at them and like, hey, okay, so I'm going to recognize that these are my patterns. Okay, well, I like some of these patterns. I like some of these patterns and they don't serve me. I hate some of these patterns and they don't serve me. And I hate some of these patterns, but they serve me. And then like, how can I dance among all these patterns of my life, and what new steps can I take? Which patterns of behavior can I take out? And what new ones can I add in, just so that I'm not just like laying around waiting for something to come and save me?
Yeah, because I'm working on closing the book on behaviors that don't serve me. Right? And I have a choice and still be having that, going on, but it don't serve me.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to close the book on some behavior patterns.
Thank you for saying that. That's how we're going to go back around. Okay. So it's like, if I know that coming home every day and me laying directly on the sofa doesn't do anything good for Jane, right? Because then Jane I don't feel inspired. I feel lazy. I don't feel like I'm moving my body enough. Like my body's starting to feel bad or whatever. So like, I'm going to identify this, say that's the habit. Okay. So I'm going to close the book on that pattern. Okay. So in this moment, just take a breath in and just let it go, and think of a pattern in your life. You don't have to say it. Just think of a pattern that you just don't love. You don't love this pattern. No judgment. Just be really aware of it. Everybody have your own pattern in your mind. Got your pattern? Just whatever that is. Okay. So the challenge is thinking about, well, what new pattern can I do, right? Because if I have this old pattern, I've identified it, I don't like it. Okay, I'm going to close the book on that. I'm going to move it away. It's no longer going to be in my life. Well, we got to have a new pattern though. We can't just not do, right? And we can't necessarily do the complete opposite of like, well, I've been laying in bed every time I get home from work, and now I'm going to go run 15,000 miles after work. No, like that's too much, right? It's too much of a pattern. Like that would break the body. So I'd like to just go around, and if everyone could share, if you can think of something, of a new pattern. You don't have to speak to your old pattern unless you want to, but what new pattern can you do so that we can all just support you in our hearts and our minds?
Not an impression. I mean, you make a footprint, that's an impression inside, But, and then how many impressions it tells people in the direction I'm headed, right? I may not go to the places they have thought out, but I'm showing that my impressions lead me into a different direction that is more suitable, for me, it works for me. I ain't caring about whatever, the impression that they perceive. I'm just saying, look at the direction I'm headed with that impression.
So do you have a clear picture in your mind's eye of that direction?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So hold that vision in your heart and your mind, and I'll hold that vision for you as well. So I'll see you taking that path. Okay. What's your new pattern? Really? But you had one I saw you when you had one, you're like, I feel this pattern that I don't like.
Yeah, but it involves somebody else, so until that person can get on board with me, I can't change that.
Can you change your attitude about it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can do that.
Okay. So then what would the new attitude be around it?
That this person is who they are. And I can't really make them over it, especially if it's been a while. So I can see them as an individual. They're not me, and so I don't. I really don't. I just have to
Give them benefit of the doubt in certain situations and accept them who they are.
Thank you for sharing that. Sometimes that's a big step, I think, for many of us is noticing like a pattern in a relationship with another human, being like, oh God, this is the pattern that I don't like, but I can't change them, right? We're not here to change anyone. So the only thing I can change is myself, but I can't change the relationship, right? Like if it's like a parent or your partner or your boss or whatever, like I can't really change that pattern much, right? But what I can do is I can change my attitude. I can have compassion. I can see them as a young child. Like if it's a boss that's just a total jerk, it's like, well, I can't change them and I can't quit my job. Well, I can accept them. I can have compassion for them, and I can have a lot of compassion for me that I am having challenges in this situation. And I think that's a huge pattern shift personally. Because when we change our mind in that way, our spirit changes. So thanks for speaking to that.
Well, I'm retired. So when I go home, I do exactly what you said. I don't turn the tube on right away, but I get my drink, I call the sponsor, and then I put the tube on and lay down and watch it. And I always am thinking, Robin, should you change that? Or I don't have really anything else to do, and I just love it. I love the feeling of laying down at 4:00 in the afternoon or 3:00 in the afternoon. But I think that my basic thing that I could do is put this change on depression because it keeps coming back to haunt me. And so I don't know what he said about what he's going to do, but I can recognize it coming in, and I just feel like I can't stop it. But maybe I'll try to stop it by calling somebody when I'm feeling it.
Good. I'm curious, when you sit down and turn the TV on and relax at 3 or 4 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
do you do it for like an hour or do you do it till you go to bed?
I do tell you.
Okay. So what if that would be the pattern change? That you just give yourself a time limit.
Okay.
So you give yourself, say, an hour or 2 hours, and then you are committed to getting up and dancing for a song.
Okay. All right.
Just for you, right? It's just for you. So then you are your own active sponsor at that time, right? You just helped yourself. So it could be a pattern to play with,
Okay.
and that way you're not judging yourself for being at the TV
Uh-huh.
or anything. You're just like, I'm doing it. This feels good. I like it. Okay. Wait, pause. Let me move this body. Let me see what I can do. Let me write myself a love letter. Let me write, a poem. Let me dance. Let me paint. Okay, cool. And then you can go back to it. But that's a huge pattern disruptor.
Right.
It's taking a different step on a path and it's changing the mindset. Thanks for sharing that. What about you? What new pattern you want to put into your life?
Well, my peer support for the Veterans Administration said, you need to look forward instead of really looking back. And I'm just saying, well, the recent past is basically what I'm trying to go from. So I would tell him, and then he says, well, that's like you're moving forward by looking at your rear view mirror. And he says, that's not going to get you anywhere. So, I basically told him that I'm looking forward to build a history of what I've been trying to build a history for quite some time. So it's a time thing of building another history from a recent past, of which I was doing good, but it's just building that history to prove myself again.
Gotcha. What's really funny about history and creating it? You know where it comes from?
As far as if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it.
History only comes from right now. It's just a series of nows that at some point we choose to now look back on. Right?
Okay.
So looking back at the past doesn't create a future to look back upon. Only looking in the future doesn't move us toward it to create a past. So what if we just acknowledge that I am currently making history and I'm making moves right now? Like I am building this bridge to a better history than I lived before. So now I'm living in this moment of the now, that when I do get to some point and I look back on, I'll be like, oh, I was creating that history and I was doing it with some joy or some peace. I was feeling pretty good about that.
That's pretty good.
But I like that. I like that, like the awareness of like, I'm creating a new history right now. You know, we're doing that right now. We're creating a new history right now. In every now moment, we're creating a new history. That's nuts. That's cool. That's so cool. And sometimes we go back and forward, but like if we can just plant ourselves in the now,
Mm-hmm.
everything else is going to move around us,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then I can look back and be like, whoa, other things are moving. I didn't have to. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to move forward. We're always moving forward. What about you, Jeremy? What new pattern are you going to put in your life?
Work with my therapist,
Ooh,
be comfortable out in public around younger age groups.
nice. That's a big one.
Yes.
Therapists are great. And I don't know about y'all, but like they can be scary sometimes.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, I'm going to actually have to talk about myself for this long. And you're going to listen. Okay, here we go. You know, so I just want to commend you for committing to that. Someone hold that vision of you having a beautiful support therapist that can reflect back to you places that you can grow into. We're all growing into something. I don't know what I'm growing into, but I know I'm growing into it. Thank you for sharing that. What about you? What new pattern are you adding?
Movement.
Physical? Or-
Yes, because I'm currently living in Florida. I'm gonna move here with Jeremy. So I have this vision of he and I doing yin yoga and walking together and getting healthier and me cooking good things for us.
Awesome. That's a lot of big movement. That's like the physical movement and the physical like location movement. Wow, that's a big new pattern.
For health.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to acknowledge that that's a really big pattern change. That takes a lot of courage. I see that. Like, I don't like the words I'm proud of anyone just because I think they sound really condescending. Like, I just don't like it. And, you know, human words, I'm proud of you for making those moves. Like, those are big ones.
Every time I get into exercising, I have an injury, like you're talking about, and it sets you back, and then it's hard to get back into. But once I get into it, I like the way it feels. So I want he and I to do that together.
Yes. And walking is so fun. I like walking anyway. Like,
I'm retired from the Army. I always hated running. Now,
Oh, yeah.
if somebody was trying to kill me, I'd have to lay down. Just
Right.
dude, it's not worth running for.
right? I was just reading about animals, and it's the story of a herd of impalas, and a cheetah was like kind of scoping out the herd, and it noticed that there was like a baby impala, and the cheetah was like, yeah, that's a weak one, right? Like, it's happening. So the cheetah goes running up to the herd of impala, and all the other impalas are like, whatever, deuces, bye, I'm out. And the little one's like, oh no. And so the little one, like the little one's like instinctual response, like it doesn't think about it, right? It doesn't necessarily play dead, but what it does is it goes into this freeze mode.
So you can't see it.
Hmm?
So you can't see it.
Well, no, you can see it, but so the cheetah so what happens is the cheetah like gets it and it's like, yeah, and it takes it to its tree and it's like, I'm going to eat you. And it thinks it's dead because the little baby's like, I'm frozen. He thinks I'm dead. And so the cheetah's like, cool, I'll be back for you, you dead one. I'll eat you in a minute. I'm gonna go see if I can get more. So the cheetah leaves and the baby impala's like, and like goes and runs to safety, right? So it's almost like, you know, it wasn't meant to give up. It didn't give up. It didn't give up. But it stopped. It stopped. It reflected. It like assessed the situation. Nobody knew it. You know, it didn't have the herd to support it, but it did it. And it got its ass up and it saved its own life, right? It chose to accept what was. It surrendered. It didn't try to fight the cheetah, right? It surrendered. It was a choice. I surrender that this cheetah is taking me and I may die. And that's that surrendering. I may die. Okay. I'm just going to do my thing. And then it didn't give up. It wasn't like, okay, well, I guess I'll just lay here because he said he's going to come back and eat me. So, right? So what if we took the rest of this winter to do that, right? To practice surrendering, accepting what is, take the time to rest, and make new pattern choices. Like when it's time to get up and move, we do. But it's also sometimes that getting up and moving can be scary because bet you $20 that little baby Impala was like, I'm afraid, man, last time I was standing up, the cheetah took me. Like it wasn't safe. Our conscious mind would be like, well, last time I did that, it wasn't safe. Last time I was standing, it wasn't safe. I got hurt, right? But that's taken this like instinctual pattern of life that we are and being like, no, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm getting up and I'm moving. If it hurts, okay, I'm just gonna take it easier. I'm not gonna just give up. I'll just move a little slower. I'll do something a little bit more easeful.
And that's the hard part. Because once I start exercising, I like
The more,
Yeah, exactly. And then I regret it.
right?
So it's hard getting that happy medium.
Yeah. And understanding that every day is different for that medium. There are some days when I get up and I'm like, I have so much energy, I can do everything. And then other days I'm like, can I just sit and look out a window all day, not move my body, and being okay with all of that and not being okay with just doing one of them, So I'm really grateful. I like this. I like that we got to talk about this. This was, I needed this conversation. So we'll just close this little time together with a little envisioning thing. Would you be willing to have a seat for just a moment while I finish? Thank you. It'll be like literally 2 minutes. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So if we can all just take a big breath in and just let it go. And softening your eyes, whether you're looking at the floor, your eyes are closed. In this moment, this right now, where nothing that has happened is happening right now, nothing that will be happening is happening right now. The only thing that's happening is this right now. You're in the perfect place at the perfect time. You're exactly where you need to be. Your body is exactly how it should be, and you have created a new pattern in your mind. You've created a new pattern of being, a new way of acting, a new way of showing up, perhaps a new way of feeling. And seeing the rest of your life play out with this new pattern in place. Maybe this new pattern of movement, of creating history, a new pattern of direction and purpose, a new path of acceptance or surrender or dance. But just see the rest of your life playing out with this new pattern in your mind's eye. Letting your body feel safe and steady in this new pattern. And just take another breath in. And just let this breath go. And we'll just trust that all of these patterns, these new ways of being and seeing and thinking and moving, that they'll guide us into the next stage of our life, wherever that next stage will lead us. And we will see it leading us with grace. And so it is. So it is. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Okay, and
Yeah, I'm glad that we got to hang out today before the calendar new year. Before the calendar new year.
I was watching this movie.
Thank you.
It's called Romans.
Thank y'all for being
Esquire. No, Romans Esquire.